to the next panel. It's on psychokinesis, as you can see, and we've got two papers in this section. The first one will be by Eric Dullin. His colleague David Jamil won't be joining us, unfortunately, but we have one of the dynamic duo with us. I'll tell you a little bit about him. He is originally from Lyon in France, and he has a PhD in software process and automation, and is a mechanical engineer. His experiences and interest in paranormal go back to his youth, and there was a case, a poltergeist case, not actually involving him, but a friend of his in 1998, and was very much interested in it at the time. And he's come back into the field during the last 4 or 5 years, and since 2014 he's been involved in the LAPDC laboratory, which was founded by David Jamil in 2012. And this is a private laboratory in Poitiers, and it's not part of, but connected with the IMI in Paris. So they're doing quite a lot of interesting research there. And we're going to hear about some of it this afternoon.
Okay. All right, before it begins, a round of applause, please.
So thank you, Leo, for this presentation. And I'd like to thank the SPR to invite us to present our work. So our work at LAPDC is mainly on telekinesis. So we use telekinesis versus psychokinesis, because we like to be more neutral about the explanation. Our work focus is to try to detect and quantify telekinetic actions on a specific target, which are plastic dome running on a needle. And I will go through that. First, let's dive into this topic. And so two short videos. So here's the first video. And then let's move to the second one. Yes, works. This is normal speed. Oops. And then you can see some. So is this telekinesis, or is this just aerodynamic or thermic effects due to the hand's heat? That's a big question. And this was studied by many people since Athens. And there is a very good paper about Carlos Alvarado's about that in 2006 called Human Radiation. And we moved from mesmerism, animals magnetism, vital force, human radiation, and spiritism, and so forth. But I don't have time to go to all these studies. I will focus just on one, the biometer from Hippolyte Baraduc, which mainly is on a glass jar, inside which there is a needle suspended to a thread, you can see here. And with a graduated circumference, we are measuring the deviation of the needle when some people approach the hand. Another except is Cromley's motors. So typically it's a cylinder of paper. You can build it in your home with a straw, and crossing the straw you have a needle, vertical needle, and this needle is put on a coin, and you can put the coin on the border and try to run the systems. And another one, which appeared 65 later in Czechia by the physicist Julius Kremski, and which was called a cyclotronic rotor, and which is very close to Cromley's motors, as you can see on this one. So, in parallel of that, there is many people who are making some critiques and explanation, physical explanation. I will just extract one from René Barcollier, who says that in fact the human body is making with the heat, some ascendant current, and this ascendant current is pulling on the table an horizontal current, as you can see here. And this horizontal current, which is at first symmetrical, if you put some obstacle around it, you have some disequilibrium, and so you create a torque around the object. Other people will work on that. We can talk about John Working, which is an SPR member, and wrote a paper in a Paranormal Review in 2001, and say that he was working with a more commercial product like this, which is called Egli wheel. So it's a half-gram wheel running around, and all his work shows that for him there is no displacement of this wheel, which was not explicable by aerodynamic thermally induced effect. So, if we are looking to the field of telekinesis, there is mainly two approaches today. One is to try to make a complete isolation of the target system with the drawback of a possible inhibition of the system. So, for example, here we have psi wheel, and there is one glass container around. Here it's two containers superimposed, and there it's Faraday grid inside one container. So this is the first approach. The second approach is more about what will be talked after, which is microteca. So we are looking to very small phenomenon and make some statistics analysis, and we are looking some deviation of the normal distribution. But this requires a large number of experiments. So our approach is to be between the two. So we are looking to make partial physical isolation of the target system. So we lower the physical perturbation, but we don't too much inhibit the phenomenon. And in the same time, we have to measure. So we measure the remaining factor to be sure that we have a signal to noise ratio, which is enough high, so we can say there is some phenomenon. So typically, we are looking to anomalous perturbation divided by all the other perturbation, and we are looking to have +1 plus the margin of error or bias we can have in the experiment. So typically, we use as target system, we use a plastic dome like this. We use which is about 2.5 grams. We use a cork plug, preferably for French wine, and with a needle in it, and you just have to put this on the plastic. So you can do that in your home, and I bring some, so if you are interested at the end, you can take. You can use also plastic cap, like pharmaceutical cap, plastic with a needle. Same thing. So the idea is you have the target and you put the hand close, not touching it, on the figure. And now we look what potential force are making the mobile running. So the first come up, it's a mechanical vibration. So we try to discard this approach. So if you put your hand close to the what I call mobile, not smartphone, but that's mobile or plastic dome, you can make some vibration. So we make some tests with loudspeakers and accelerometers, and we look at if we put some loudspeaker and try to make some vibration at one point, you are able to move the mobile, the dome, one half turn in one way and half turn in another. You are not able to make stable turn. Same thing for the statics, because very often we think about electrostatic, because it's plastic. And if you use one generator here, close to the mobile, and you try to run the generator, you are able also to move the plastic dome, but in a one half turn and one half turn. Okay. If we are looking to the other approach, there is also the radiation, but it's marginal because the main impact of radiation is more hitting the air, which is the last item, which is aerodynamic convections, which could be air in the room, and also air generated by the heat of the hand. So our main focus is to identify the airflow around the plastic dome, to measure the speed, And the problem is that the speed could be from 1 millimeter per second to 20 centimeters per second, which is very slow. You can't use standard anemometer. So we have to develop some specific techniques to measure it. And so the LAPDC works with University of Poitiers, and they selected PIV, which stands for Particle Image Velocimetry, to measure the air flow around the mobile. So I'll explain very quickly how it works. So here you have, I will take the mouse. So here we have the what looks like a telephone booth with a curtain. So it's like a semi-confined environment. And inside you have the telekinesis practitioners. You have the table with the target. You can see here. We put a laser to have an horizontal beam, like this. And there is a photo camera above, taking vertical image. And so we can see on this. This is the, I forget about one very important point. Here there is a smoke generator, making some smoke inside the boat. And so now we have the smoke. You have the beam of laser beam which eliminated the smoke particle, and so created a thin slice of smoke very visible. And when you see here you can see the plastic dome and the hand. And here you see what is seeing the camera above. So the plastic dome, the airflows around, and the hand. So after we use some kind of software in order to compute the speed of the different particle smoke. So very quickly we have the software identifies patterns here in the first image, and it identifies the same patterns in the image following image, which could be 40 milliseconds or 20 milliseconds after, depends if we are at 25 Hertz or 50 Hertz. And we use the displacement here to compute the speed of the pattern. So globally the software is doing that for all the patterns you can find in the image. And we put a green arrow according to the speed of the airflow at each point. So this is between two sequential images, and this is for periods, for example 10 seconds. We make a mean of all the arrows to have the global flow. And now, what we are interested for is to compare the evolution of the speed of the plastic dome and the evolution of the speed of the airflow around. That's what we are main focus here. So we extract, because it's a rotational systems, we extract 100 points per circle. So we take some concentric cycle around the mobile, and on each point we take the tangential speed, so the speed, and we convert in rotational. So we are looking on all the speed around the mobile. So you can find that here. And we integrate it with the evolution of the speed of the dome. Okay? So we compute a numerical model which represents all these points, which could be 10 million points for one minute of study. And then we make some scan around to identify a different representation in different granularity in space and time. And now we are focused more about the evolution of the mean speed of the mobile compared to the mean speed of the airflow around at the periphery of 2 or 3 millimeters. So let's move to the experiment. We did three kinds of experiments. The first one is we generated airflow, like this, in order to move the mobile. So you can see that the airflow is able to move the mobile with the tangential speed of the airflow. Okay. So that was the first kind of setup. Second kind of setup is to move it with electric motor. So in this way, we move the electric motor with a needle which is stick to the mobile. So it drives the mobile, and so it drives the air around. And when we make some quick acceleration, you can see the impact on the airflow around. Okay. And the last setup category is with telekinesis practitioner. Yeah. Higher volume. So here is the hand of the telekinesis, here is the flow, and here is the mobile. So 3 kind of experiment, 8 in total, and we will try to compare this experiment. And for compare it, we use this ratio. So ratio is simply the speed of the dome divided by the speed of the airflow around it. Okay. So in the first experiment, we can see that here is the calculation of the flow around the dome. And below, you see here is the speed of the mobile, so the plastic dome, moving from 0 to 40 degrees per second. It's a rotational speed. And we have to compare it by the speed we have to put the air in order to start the mobile. And this speed was between 50, 40 to 100, and with a mean around 75. Okay? And so we can compare this to this one, which is done with telekinesis practitioners, where you see the mobile speed here, the dome speed here, moving from 0 to 15 around. And here in orange, you have the speed at the periphery of the mobile at 2 to 3 millimeter. And so if you compare the two here, you have to be twice the speed of the mobile, and here you are close to the same speed. Okay? So so this was for the starting mode, and when we look to an experiment where during 6 minutes the mobile was running, and we take an extract of 60 seconds when it was already launched. And you can see on this that if we compare the speed of the dome is about 40 degrees per second, and here it's about 7. You have to be quick. So the result, you have 3 categories of experiments. The blue are the air categories. The first I show you. The second is the motor, and the third was the telekinesis. So as expected, the airflow experiment, you have a ratio which is, so here is the ratio, mobile speed and airflow speed, and here are the different experiments. So you can see here that the airflow experiments are below 1, which is normal because the airflow needs to be faster than the mobile in order to run. The motor experiment is normal because it's the motor which is running faster than the airflow. And if you look to the telekinesis experiment, we see that this experiment are closer than this one. And we have one where we are at a ratio of 7.8, so it means that the mobile was running 7.8 faster than the airflow round. And so, if we look to the conclusion, in the techis category, the airflow is not able to explain alone the dome of the movement. And we have also discarded the other factor, as we saw before. So we have clearly an anomalous effect, and so we can say that we have a macro-tech hypothesis, which needs to further study. The second thing is that we have developed, we show that we developed an approach, a scientific approach, which gives us the possibility to scrutinize what's happening between the mobile and the aerodynamic systems. And so we are able to make some experiment in a non-confined environment, which is very important. And so for next steps, we need to reproduce techist experiments with good ratio, as we can see the 7.8 ratio. We want to develop some 3D vertical approach, because today, as you see, we are looking at a slice, and we are working also, we are also working on a vertical approach to see how the speed are running in a vertical approach. We are making some protocol documentation so the labs could reproduce the experiment. And also we are working on an artifact experiment because as Bartolier explanation I showed you at first, we wanted to take it and through the bench, and we don't success to have the same result as him. And so I think it's very important to be in more detail, and maybe we can make some publication on that. So I think it's also something what's proposed by Carlos Alvarado's to to reproduce some artifact experiments that was done in the past. This morning, some people told about looking at the past and what was done. And I think it's very interesting. There is many things that have been done, but we have to take it again and make some good study with our tools today. We are looking also about confining impact, because we could have some very interesting results and not completely intuitive. Temperature impact, it was well, John Rodkin was saying that it was a point very important, so we tried to make some running the heavy wheel at 40 degrees temperature outside, because the summer was very hot. We can do that. I do that in the car, 40 degrees, and we are able to run the mobile. And we work also with other behavior and lighter objects. So, thank you for your attention. And I propose you a last experiment. Looking now, whoa. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
All right, due to the technical issues at the beginning, we're running into the question time now. So if anybody has a quick question, we're delighted to hear it.
Have you thought of not using plastic for your dome, but it is very sensitive to electrostatic effect? Whatever precautions you take, very sensitive.
Yeah. We work with a bunch of kind of objects. So metallics, cartons, and even bigger one like that. So we are working. We work with telekinesis practitioners. What are these people? It's people who discover telekinesis, gave some result, and they want to develop their ability, or just a game. So I think it's like Robert Dune and Robert Chain and Banda Dune told about the experiments. You have to be a bit open, a bit free, and so people can make some good ideas. So one day the guy said, I tried with a cook mold. He shoot a video and send it, and we can try to work and try to make some calculation about the force involved and so forth. Okay, time is up.
Sorry to cut that short, but you can ask questions, of course, afterwards. Another round of applause, please. Thank you very much.